I don't know how I remember all of these stories, and half of them I remembering might not be right, might be wrong, but I know I do remember them. So let me tell y'all about the time when the Black Panthers and the National Guards had a shootout. It seemed like it was right in front of my door, right? So I was young, real young, out of school that day. I don't know if it was, well, let me just start at the beginning. So the Black Panthers were held up in the Desire Project. We lived right around the corner from the Desire Project, which is why I can't understand how this happened in front of the house, but it did. So they were held up in the Desire Project. We lived right around the corner from the Desire Project on Metropolitan, and I can't remember that cross street. I can't remember the name of the cross street, but it was right across the street from Carver. And like the main street between the project and us was Louisa Street. So anyway, so we outside one day, my mother talking to the neighbor, because we lived in this shotgun double house. So we're outside, my mother talking to this neighbor. I can't remember who all was out there with the kids, but I know it was my mother and the neighbor and me, and I don't know if my brother was there, but I know I wasn't in school that day for whatever reason. My brother could have been there too, I can't remember. But anyway, so we see these people marching down the street, right? And then they telling us, and I know now, you know what I'm saying, that they were the National Guards, but then we just saw some people in uniform marching down the street. So anyway, and with guns. But anyway, so they telling everybody, go in your house, get on the floor, get under something, whatever you can do, you know, I guess, because it's about to go down. And that's why I say I don't understand how it happened right there as opposed to in the project. You know what I'm saying? So long story short, we feel like we in ground zero, because all of a sudden you just hear all of this shooting back and forth, and it's crazy, right? So we're in the house, and if I'm not mistaken, I could be 100% wrong, but I believe my dad's car, my dad had a was it a 64? It was what was it? It was the Continental with the suicide doors. His was burgundy, right? If I'm not mistaken, I think they shot it up. I could be wrong. But again, I was a kid. That had to be in the late 60s. You know what I'm saying? Somewhere around there. And I was only born in 63, so I couldn't have been but about 5 or 6 years old, 7, I don't know. But anyway, this is just my memory, right? And so, fast forward a day or two, or it could have been the same day, it could have been the next day, I'm not sure. So, on Poland Street, right? Poland Street, and I don't know why we used to take that route, but we used to live over there, but we was from the lower Ninth Ward, right? Across the canal, pretty much. So there was the back bridge. You could take the back bridge and go up Florida Avenue. That was all the way back. I think that's where the levees broke, on the other side of the bridge, but some ways down during Katrina. But anyway, just to put it in perspective. But anyway, you can go up either, if I'm not mistaken, I think you could go up Louisa to Florida, make the left and go over the back bridge or whatever, or you could take Poland and go all the way up Poland and go to the Claiborne Bridge, and because sometimes the back bridge will be up. You know what I'm saying? It was one of those drawbridges. They would have to go up for the boats to pass or whatever. So anyway, back to the story. So I just remember being in the car with my brother, my dad, and myself, right? And we used to always, you know, you kids, you whatever. So we used to always be so proud of my daddy got a 30-30. My daddy got a 30-30, so we didn't see it often, but when we saw it, right? So and picture this is a 30-30 was a rifle, right? So anyway, so we in the car coming home. We got to be coming home because we coming from the bridge. We didn't came across the canal. Now we come over the Poland Bridge, and again the Poland Bridge or the Poland Avenue is right at the back side of the Desire Project, right? So we're coming, and so everybody on neutral ground. And for those of you who don't know what a neutral ground is, it's a median. It's a patch of ground that separates one lane or one side of the road to the other side of the road, right? So everybody standing on the neutral ground, everybody out the project, a lot of people out the project standing on the neutral ground, and they just throwing bottles and rocks and whatever they can find at people's cars. Now that I'm older, I understand what that was all about. And like I say, you can look it up. It's when it's the same time when they had the shooter on the Holiday Inn, and he deleted a lot of people, a lot of police officers and stuff like that. So I'm not condoning that. It was bad. But that was around the same time, right? And so anyway, so that's pretty much what it was. So then the most part that I remember is that we were all excited because again we see Daddy with his 30-30 in the windshield, like he got it sitting up there while he driving, like I ain't about that, but don't bring that, because if you bring that you're gonna get that. You know what I'm saying? And then we kids, so we like, man, this is exciting, but not even realizing the time or the seriousness of it, right? But it was just crazy. But they never bothered us because they weren't trying to bother us. You know, that was a whole nother situation. And if you know, you know. And like I said, all of this is documented. A lot of it from my memory could be wrong as to what happened or how it happened and all of that. But I specifically remember what I remember about it, you know, and I don't know why, but I imagine it was pretty traumatizing for a young kid, you know, to go through that. Because thinking back now, we were kind of like in ground zero. We weren't in the project. And again, I don't know how that happened that close to the house. Maybe they were on the move, or maybe they were whatever, but it happened. It's a true story, and again, it's documented. You can look it up. But that was a crazy time in life, and it was just something I thought about, so I figured I'd share. Because, like I said, a younger generation or a couple generations might not know about that. You know what I'm saying? And I don't even know if it's proper for me to talk about. I don't even know if it's proper for me to talk about it, but guess what? It's my memory, so I can talk about whatever I want in my memory, right? Anyway, y'all be easy. Peace.